Guys, Johnny Van Zandt from the rock band Leonard Skinner. You're watching Blessed to Be a Blessing on Web TV with Richard Norton. Take care. God bless.
Hey everybody, Rich Norton here. Blessed to be a blessing as always, and I'm really excited about the opportunity that we have today. I get to go out and meet a young man by the name of Jarvis, and also going to meet two other young ladies. I believe their names Cynthia and Lawana. And Jarvis has a ministry called Saved by Grace Ministries, and this ministry is awesome. It's fantastic. Jarvis has a wonderful testimony. We're going to get a chance to hear it. And what they do is they minister to people coming out of jail. One of the toughest parts is they come out of jail, they got nowhere to go, no opportunities, in many places nowhere to live. So he has a ministry outside of Palatka, Florida. We're going to get to know him and the other two young ladies and get to know more about this ministry. And then at the end, we are going to have a special blessing. I love that. That's the best part. It's just great that we get to be able to do that. So blessed to be a blessing. Tune in. It's going to be awesome and amazing.
I was so scared and all alone, felt an emptiness inside. I reached out to the Lord above to put my helplessness aside. And He came to me, flashing light, I saw it there. Well, He came to me, felt the comfort in my hands. He came to me, and I began to understand. Blessed to be a blessing. Blessed to be a blessing. Blessed to be a blessing.
All right, we are here with Jarvis. What a blessing to meet you. And we had a great day so far, and it's been awesome and amazing. What a great way to kind of start a beautiful day in Florida with praise and worship music. And I saw you praise, and you got some rhythm going on, and that was fun. That was great. We had a good group of people, and a great way to start the day, a great message, a great word, and honored to meet you, really am.
It's a pleasure to be here today, sir.
Yeah, we're excited about your ministry is Saved by Grace Ministry, right?
That's correct.
Where is it located at?
It's located in Florida, Florida. It's about 10 minutes outside of Palatka.
Okay, awesome. So I want you to kind of give some background on how this all began, and just be as transparent as can be. That's how I am, and I know how you are, because you have a testimony, right? And because of your testimony, God has moved in your heart to bless other people and serve other people. So where did it all begin for you?
Absolutely. I would say the birth of my son.
Okay.
I had my son at 17 years old. I turned down playing football at Troy University, and I enlisted into the United States Army. I was leaving as a 25 uniform, which is a computer specialist. I graduated high school early, and I had a signed Army contract. I thought my whole life was figured out. So I was knocking on the door of the Army, but God was knocking on my heart. And on the night of January 21st of 2012, I was at a house party. Now, before we were all saved, we used to drink. I don't know about you, but we used to drink. So I was at a house party having a good time, drinking and smoking with a few of my friends. And that night kind of spiraled into a destruction. I ended up breaking into a police officer's house. And that night,
Of all the houses to break into, right?
right.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this was a police officer. I just remember kicking on the door and banging on the door. I got the houses mixed up. So as soon as I got the door finally open, it was a gentleman with a gun pointed at my head, and I thought I was dead.
Wow.
So being 18 years old, and my whole life in front of me, I break into a cop's house.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So, all right. So from there, where do you go? What's the next part of that story?
I was in jail for 13 days, and my parents bailed me out. So when I was on probation, or what do they call that when you get out of jail? I was out on bond, excuse me. So I was out on bond for 8 months. I was still going to college. I had a paid lawyer, and my lawyer's telling me, Jarvis, you've never been in trouble before. This is your first offense. You didn't go there to kill or to steal or to do anything but no harm. And so I went to college, made good grades because I wanted to leave as an E3 in the military. My ship date was May 25th, 2012. So I fought my case for 8 months. They told me that I couldn't listen to the Army anymore. And the day of my citizen, I had no idea I was going to get sentenced to prison. I'm thinking that they are going to allow me to still enroll into the military.
Okay, so it comes to a point where you get the sentencing, right? So how much time? Did they give you time, or what happened at that point?
Yes, so I got sentenced to 2 years in prison and 3 years of house arrest as my first offense. And I thought my life was over.
Sure.
My parents, my family, my loved ones were very sad and very angry that this happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I take full responsibility because I was the one drinking.
Right,
you know?
right. And you know, when you think about that, I think about when I was 17 and 18 and I did some really dumb stuff, and by the grace of God, I mean, I'm still here. And you know, we thank God for grace and mercy and forgiveness. So,
yes.
All right, so you served the time. How much time did they give you? Less time, or?
So I got out in 21 months. So I was sentenced to 24 months in Florida. You get to serve 85% of your time. But during my time, incarceration was the greatest experience of my life. It was. It changed everything about me, who I am, what I know.
Tell us why. Tell everybody out there why.
Because I met my Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, it was like being in Genesis, walking with Him.
Yeah.
You know, being in the early stages where God is so close, where He's picking you up and you're hearing from Him and you're seeing the miracles. But not only that, seeing young men. I was with young men 18 to 24 years old, and I realized that, you know what, we are some great people who just made mistakes.
Absolutely.
So I became a mentor. I was doing Bible studies in my dorm. My dorm was with 63 men.
Wow.
And being able to see God move in my life.
Awesome. Right. So during this time, you feel you got basically introduced to Christ. You met Jesus in prison, right?
Absolutely.
He's everywhere. That goes to show you.
Absolutely.
And so God's ministering to you, and He's also ministering through you to
Yes,
other
sir.
people. So did you feel there was a calling on your life then? Like that God was
Absolutely.
speaking to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So at night, before I learned how to fast, the devil would try to choke me. I couldn't sleep at nights. I couldn't breathe. And that's when I discovered what spiritual warfare is.
Right.
And I met my pastor while I was incarcerated.
Okay.
And we began to go over praying and fasting, and I was able to build up to 3 days of fasting, and that's when I got my calling to be a preacher on May 13th of 2013.
Wow. Okay.
Exactly 9 months
Okay.
after I was incarcerated.
While you're in there. Okay.
Yeah, so
Good.
God birthed that in me within
Praise
9
God.
months.
Yeah, so He began a good work in you, and He's faithful to complete it. So that's an awesome thing. That's an amazing thing. So you get out, right? What happens then?
When I got out of prison, I thought that my life would go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that ex-offenders or returned citizens became discriminated against employment, education, and housing. So 4 days after I was incarcerated, I enrolled into college. I graduated from FSCJ with a bachelor's degree, and it's very important. On my first day of prison, I went to church. I got out of prison April 2nd of 2014, and I went to my pastor's church and I testified. So I've been with him for 8 years.
Okay, good. All right, so obviously when people get out of prison, you know, it's difficult enough being in prison, but when
Correct.
you get out, I get that. You know, it's like, okay, you got a record, now you got to get a job, and a lot of times family members turn against people getting out. You know, they don't trust or believe in them anymore. Some of them are homeless, they don't know where to go. So it's tough. You know, it's tough enough being in, and then it's tough enough having opportunities, right?
It is.
So tell us how Saved by Grace Ministries started.
It started in prison, and when I got out, going to probation, because I was on house arrest for 3 years, I started to see great people go back to prison. People with no support systems, people with no purpose, people
Right.
with no relationships with Christ. There's only a certain amount of rejection that somebody can take. So I was able to be exposed to the problem that we have with people getting out of prison.
Yeah, that's, again, I can't imagine that, because that's the difficult part. It's like I can see where a cycle can happen. It's like, okay, what's the use? And they repeat the same
Correct.
things they've been doing, and they're right back in again. So, all right, so your place, Saved by Grace Ministries. Tell us about people, your vision, your goal, people getting out of prison. What can they expect there, coming there? Is it housing? Are they being ministered? Tell everybody about that, how that works.
So Saved by Grace Ministries, we have a 60-acre farm in Florenholm. So right now we are in several prisons, establishing relationships with the men. So when they get out, they'll be able to stay on the farm.
Nice.
The farm will provide transitional living, living wages, and also education.
Okay, good. All right, so they get out, they got a place to stay now, right?
Correct.
And so that's awesome. Are they working out there too as well? What are they doing out
Correct.
there? Give us
So-
like a typical day of a day in the life of everybody.
Okay. The name of the farm is Nazareth Farms.
Okay.
Can any good thing come from Nazareth? And Nazareth is where Jesus learned his trade as a carpenter.
That's right.
And that's where he grew in his word. So being able to come to the farm, get established with transition to society, with being able to work on a farm and to go to school at nights.
That's awesome, great. Well, this is a wonderful ministry, and it's, gosh, it's needed, it's necessary, and it requires funds too, to get it going. You
Yes,
know,
sir,
it
that's
just doesn't
correct.
happen. Yeah. So for those that want to give to this ministry, because a lot of people are watching from all over the world, different ways, can you give everybody your address, like if they want to send a check? And because it's a 501c3, so it's a nonprofit, tax
Correct.
deductible. So if you could let everybody know out there, how can they give? Do you have a website? Whatever information you can give to everybody.
Okay. The name of the website is www.savedbygraceministries.net. And if you scroll all the way down, you'll see a donate button. As well, we have PayPal. And if you want to write a check, you can send it to 7932 Dawkins Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32244.
Awesome. And we have that on the screen, as you'll see, the address and everything. So thank you to Bruce and Mike for putting that out there. You're a blessing. You really are, man. You're
Thanks
what
for
you're
having me
doing.
here
Yeah,
today.
it's awesome. And I love your spirit. I love your heart. And we're going to pray for your ministry because it's needed. I thought of that as we were coming here today, and I talked about that in the beginning of the show, how difficult it is to get out of prison, not knowing where you're going, where to begin, but to have a foundation and to have someone that, with your faith, that's been there. You
Correct.
know what they've been through, so
Correct.
you know what they're going through. So we will be praying for you. I'm going to encourage everybody out there who's watching, everybody watching, to pray for Jarvis and pray for everybody that's involved in the ministry, which we're going to meet a few young ladies that I had the privilege of praising the Lord with today. I know
Yes.
they're helping you out, so I want to hear their story too as well. So thank you for sharing.
All right. Thank you for
I
having me.
appreciate you. All right, we are back, and I have the blessing of introducing everybody to Lawana and Cynthia. They're part of this ministry. I want to hear more of their background, their testimony, and their story. It started out great. We had some nice praise and worship to begin with, so thank you for coming out and praising the Lord with us. So let's start out with Lawana. You're from Florida area? Or?
I'm actually from Flint, Michigan.
Okay, all right.
But I've been here for several years.
Okay, all right. How did you come to meet Jarvis? Tell everybody out there.
I've actually known Jarvis for quite some time. He actually was my brother's friend. My little brother and Jarvis played football together. So he was big 80, the wide receiver, and my little brother was a running back. So they were close friends, and that's how I met Jarvis.
Okay, fantastic. So you've seen Jarvis go through he shared earlier, you've seen the difficulties that he's been through, and as we all go through difficulties in life. Tell us about were you there during that time? Did you know him much?
Well, I was around Jarvis after he got out, even before he got out. He was actually around my family, and I was already saved before this happened, and I was so excited about Jarvis going to the military and excited about his life, and I was really actually honestly angry with my family for allowing him to leave after he was drinking, but we know God knows what he's doing, and nothing happens for no reason. Right. So this happened in the purpose for Jarvis, so I was so excited. We hadn't talked for a little while, and then my son passed away, and that's when Jarvis called me, and I got involved with talking to him a lot more about Florida Homes.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear about your son. Mm-hmm. Someone that's been there before, that's a tough thing. Yeah, nobody knows what you're going through unless they've been there themselves. So, well, God bless you.
Thank you so
I know
much.
Only He can provide the comfort, that we all need when we go through that. So, all right. So you're out there, and you are you serving in the mint? Going out there. Tell me about how the experience is, what it's like out there.
Yeah. So we've been out there. Actually, we've been out there with just to go out there and pray. We went out there to pray together. Myself and Jarvis been out there praying, and also out there to paint the house. We're out there. And I know Cynthia's laughing.
So he's putting you to work out there.
Yes, that's what he calls it. That's what he calls. He's like, we got to come out here and work. So we'll go down the street from Florida Homes and get Subway sandwiches, chips and drinks, and we get a little break though. Thank you, Jarvis, for the break. But then we'll still paint, and so that's what we're basically in. Just the starter phase of just praying, and just ministering to people. We had an opportunity to talk to even another young man that was in prison, just ministering to them and just believing God that he's going to provide that Jarvis will be able to continue his work that he's doing, because I see so much growth in him. I see so much potential in him, and just the blessings that God has and the favor that he has on his life. So we just believe in God with him, and whatever he asking us to do to help, then that's what we're trying to do, whether it be going to support and ask for money, because Jarvis don't have any problem with that, asking us to do that. So we'll do that, and giving, of our own resources, what we have to bless, because we do believe in the ministry and believe in what God is going to do for the men of God. I myself, I have a younger brother that came from, he went to prison, so I can see the need, how much struggle he had after coming out of prison to try to get a job, to try to get on his feet, to try to be accepted and not rejected. So it's just a wonderful thing that Jarvis is doing.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great thing. So whatever it takes to do it,
Yes.
that's what we're doing. All right, and Cindy, right? And you get to serve in this ministry too as well. I love the fact that he makes you do handiwork.
Yes.
So, for me, I was never gifted in that area, and like my wife is, in our home, she does, I say she's the prettiest handyman I know. So that's great. That's whatever it takes, right?
That's right.
So what got you involved, and tell us about your walk with this ministry here.
Well, I met Jarvis when he was working at Nimnet Chevrolet. I went there to have my car service, and he was just so friendly, and he said something about the Lord, and everything just sparked off from there. And he was showing me, telling me about Flora Home, what he's doing, and so I was like, "Ooh, that's what I want to do," but I want to do the women, and so that's how me and Jarvis met, and then I met Miss LaWanna through Jarvis, and so we just all got together, and our spirits are just we just gel together, and we started hanging out and just ministering to each other, and helping each other, and like Miss LaWanna said, we've gone down to Flora Home, we picked up trash.
Yes, we did.
Trash. Jarvis had us picking up trash.
Whatever it takes.
Yes.
Right? That's what we do.
So we really enjoy it, and again, like she said, the land is, you have to see it for yourself. The land is massive. You can see it's so much that can happen down there. It's so much that can take place down there. You will have to see it for yourself. It's beautiful land. It's beautiful, and we can't wait to see what God is going to do. It's massive.
Amazing.
It's massive, and so we're happy.
The potential is unlimited.
Oh,
To be
yes.
able to do that, and I know our producer Mike has been out there, and you're going to see all kinds of video in this show, and everybody watching. In fact, behind us here, you'll see it, and it's great. So we're going to come out here several times, and I love the fact that God's put a vision on your heart, because this is needed not only for men but for women as well. So have you had the opportunity to encounter with some people coming through the ministry already? And if so, how has the experience been?
Yes, kind of. Well, I can say, I'm gonna give two scenarios. Like, how my ministry got started is, I was at a former ministry, and I began to see women come in who were victim of domestic violence, and women who were homeless, who had kids, and my heart really went out to them, and I just asked God, what can I do to put a smile on their face? And I had already been doing the singles ministry at my church, and so I just started on on a monthly basis. I would start having seminars, seminars for single women, and seminars to empower them, to let them know that they are loved. And so that's really kind of where my ministry was birthed from. And the name of my ministry is My Sister's House. And so I'm working on that right now. I'm working on getting a home.
Yes.
I'm working on getting a home, and so that's pretty much where I am with that.
Great.
And so, but as far as we just recently met some families, and so Yeah, we recently met some young ladies who we believe that we have blessed, and so we're excited about it. So we reach out to them and talk to them and minister to them, and so that's pretty much kind of much what we are.
That's great. That's great. There's no greater joy than giving and serving, as you both have experienced that. So, Luana, you mentioned that you have encountered some coming through the ministry with Saved by Grace. Tell me how that has been, that experience.
Well, with the partnership between myself and Jarvis and Cynthia, we've all been working together, and so I have a ministry. It's called Seal the Victory, and so we had an opportunity to do. We had an opportunity to do baskets for Thanksgiving. We started out was going to do 10 baskets for the people. We prayed. We asked God to send us people that really needed it, that would be lacking, that might not have it, and God did just that. The people behind Shands, we ended up going behind there, and one mother said, I didn't even know what I was going to do. I wasn't even going to do Thanksgiving. She started crying, and it was just a blessing. And one little girl, she was probably about, I would say probably about 5 or 6 years old, maybe give or take. She saw us bless this family, and she was sitting on the porch. She said the next day we was coming out there, she said, I'll show y'all where I live. I'll show you. And we got a chance to bless her and bless that family. So those are the types of things that we're doing. And even we started, I had saw when we was out at Shands, we saw 3 young men. So I thought about Jarvis's ministry too. These young men behind Shands, they were just roaming around out there. So we stopped them and we talked to them and everything. And we had the opportunity to try to develop a relationship with them and their family to prevent what's happening with young men ending up going to jail or prison.
So you're planting seeds and getting a good foundation going.
Yes.
And everybody out there, I mean, there's so much needs that are out there, and especially, you know, we get caught up on being in the church, inside the walls, and everybody goes to church. And
Yes.
it's the churches out there. You know, the ministries are there. They're everywhere. And especially for young people coming up, you know, be an encouragement. You know, like these two are. What a wonderful blessing they are. And just love your spirits, love your hearts, and we'll be praying for you and your ministries as what God's laid upon your heart too as well. So it's awesome. This is what it's all about right here. We're blessed, and we're certainly blessed to be a blessing. Thank you for sharing your hearts with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What a great day it's been with all of you. You're my new friends, new sisters and brothers in Christ. We started out the day with some praise and worship. We had some church. We got to fellowship. We had some food. And I want to thank you all for sharing your hearts and what God's laid on your hearts and the vision that He has for you. Because it takes resources to do this, as we know. You know, and when I started this show, Blessed to Be a Blessing, it was started to highlight ministries and to get the word out so people can see what we're doing, because, you know, that's what we wanted to do, is highlight the ministries that people have not heard about, you know. And it takes money and it takes resources. And when we began the show, I've already done 4 shows already, but blessed to be a blessing means that all of us are blessed in many ways. Yeah. We talked about that today, living in gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude, but we're blessed to bless other people. Okay? Now here's where the nice surprise comes in for you guys. Okay, I hope you're ready. Because I've been blessed personally myself in many, many ways. Everything that I have comes from the Lord, and it's all His anyway. And the Lord blessed me financially, you know, through my business and everything. And I started a foundation. Again, I lost a son 30 years ago, and every time
make me cry.
Every time I do this, I get emotional myself, and I knew something good was going to come out of that. And 30 years later, God put 30 years later, His time, right? He put almost 30 years, put that on my heart to start a foundation. So, in honor of Robert Phillips Foundation, we have a check for your ministry. Okay? This isn't the actual check. This is the you'll be getting sent to you. Okay? This is you can't bring this one to the bank. But we're going to send it to you. This comes from the Phillips Foundation. The check is in the amount of $10,000.
Oh my God, really?
Made by Grace Ministries.
Oh wow.
Robert Phillips Norton Foundation.
Oh man.
Blessed to be a blessing.
Oh man.
And I know you're going to use that for the work that God has laid upon your heart.
Goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I don't know what to say. Man. I was just out there this morning.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
I was just out there this morning with the roofer going over the tier. I thought, oh my God.
Jesus, yes it is.
Wow.
Yes it is.
Praise God.
Thank you, Jesus.
He gets all the glory. So
Yes,
thank you for
Jesus.
blessing me, blessing others. He gets all the glory.
Amen.
I'm excited to see what God's going to do.
Glory to God.
Can we do a group hug?
Amen. Yes.
All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jesus. Beautiful. Let me do it. My God.
All right. What a great day. What else can you say? I have the blessing and joy of being able to do this and just to be able to meet people like that that's been laid upon their heart to do God's work. And that's what we're all called to do. Be an encouragement, love one another. If God's laid something on your heart, it's to help other people, to minister to other people, to bless other people. It doesn't always have to be financially. Give your time. Give somebody a hug. Be an encouragement. Love one another. And remember, we are blessed to be a blessing. We'll see you on the next show.
I was so scared and all alone, felt an emptiness inside. I reached out to the Lord above to put my helplessness aside. And He came to me, flash of light, I saw it there. Oh, He came to me, felt the comfort in my hands. He came to me, and I began to understand. Blessed to be a blessing. Blessed to be a blessing. Blessed to be a blessing.